What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys the new upgrade I will be doing on my boat, and it is a new trolling motor. So I was able to sell my really old one that I had and get this new one off of Marketplace. So yeah, I need to get a new plug on it, so I will be showing you guys that. And I'm also getting a new iPilot head for the trolling motor. I will also be showing you guys that. I'm not gonna be able to get it all done today, but I will. It'll be cut in 2 separate days, but I'll be able to fit it all in the same video. So yeah, let's get right to it. So this is the new PowerDrive I picked up. So here's some of the tools that I'll be using. Just a regular box cutter knife, wire strippers. This is a wire crimper that also has snips on it. I really recommend picking up some of these if you do a lot of work on your boat and have to crimp a lot of things. This crimper right here is really nice to use on splicing ferrules like these that have the 2 different ends, so you can splice 2 separate wires together. I also have these wire crimpers as well if these first pair don't work well, and then just some regular cutters. So yeah, this is the plug, and I'm using just a simple one that you can get at Cabela's or Amazon. And this is the other end. This is the other end. So I already cut it off with the knife. So basically you kind of score around both sides, and then you kind of make a nice careful cut down the middle here, and then you can just take it all apart and separate the wires. So yeah, let's get right to it. Alright, so first we're gonna take this guy and open up these wires. I want to get these more level, so I'm going to cut off a few of these. There we go. Okay, then we're going to take our wire strippers and get right here. I believe these are about a 6 gauge wire, 6 or 8 gauge, but we're going to use the 8 gauge here. We're not going to. You don't want to clamp all the way down, especially on the 8, because I believe it cuts through a lot of the strands of copper. So that makes me want to say it's 6 gauge. So we're just gonna lightly move it and press down on your wire strippers. While I do this, I'm gonna do some of this, some of that. Okay. That guy off. Okay, now I'm gonna double check to make sure I got a good length in there. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, and we're gonna try and find our line on the red, kind of right about there. Okay, take that guy off. Yeah, we got a good amount in there. Okay. So at this point, oh, also I didn't mention this in the first part of the video, but some heat shrink. You're gonna want some heat shrink, some bigger stuff, just to make sure it gets around everything, all the connections. When we connect these two with your splice ferrules, you're gonna want a good. I'm gonna be cutting this up, but you're gonna want a good chunk to cover up those connections. So yeah, make sure you have some heat shrink. Also a heat gun or some sort of heat source to make the heat shrink obviously shrink down and cover everything. So, but yeah. Alright, so on this side we're gonna get these in here and crimp these down. So we're gonna want to get this in here. Ooh, it's a little big. I think we're gonna be able to make it work. Yeah, there we go. Make sure we crimp it down good. And we're gonna get the other side, just because it wasn't perfectly even. We're gonna make sure we crimp it down. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And you want to do your tug test. Make sure this thing isn't coming out. There we go. Now we're gonna do the red side. Slide your ferrule in. Get your crimpers. Really crimp hard on that. Go around to the other side. Crimp down. Alright. Now that this side is done, we're going to move to the trolling motor side. Alright. Take your wire strippers and your wire. We're going to do the same thing we did on that other connection. Alright, I got a little hung up on here, so I'm going to take our cutters, get right behind there, cut it. Perfect. Got a little strap around here we can take off. Perfect. We're going to test it, make sure we got a good fit. Perfect, that looks good. But before we do those, we're gonna cut. I'm gonna measure somewhere around there is pretty good. So we're gonna take our knife, measured it right about towards my thumb. Okay, take that off. Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna open that guy up. Fit it onto your one end. Push it all the way down as far as you can, just so it doesn't get in the way while we're doing this part. Okay. We're going to take your other side. I'm going to crimp it down. Perfect. Dang. Tug test. Perfect. Now to the other side. Perfect. Let's hope we can get my crimper in here. Oh, I think I went a little too forward. There we go. Perfect. Alright, I know it doesn't look pretty, but we're going to cover it up with the heat shrink. But connections are good. Good on the tug test. These bad boys are not coming loose. But and there's that. So now you're going to slide your heat shrink up and over your connections. Kind of make it center, just like that. Then you're going to grab your heat gun. And this guy should start shrinking anytime soon. There we go. Just make sure you're moving it around, trying to get all the areas. Flip around if you need to. Be careful. It does get hot pretty quick. Perfect. Alright. And that is what it looks like after. Looks pretty good. Now the other side is the plug. I don't actually have it here with me. It's up in the garage near the boat. But the next yes, the next part is to get the plug installed in my boat up front where I will be mounting the trolling motor. But speaking of mounting, we do have to get the mounting plate onto the trolling motor, so that is what's next. So yes. Alright, next part is to get the mounting plate on the bottom side of the trolling motor. We've got to take these side shields off to get access where we want. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but down in here there's two on each side of some screws we got to take out. So we're going to do that. Okay, comes off. Make sure we save these screws. Okay, we're going to feed this guy up this line just so he's out of the way. There we go. Okay, let's get the other side. Perfect. Alright, that is step one. And now we'll move to the next step. Alright guys, so for mounting this, I got the quick release Minn Kota bracket, and it comes with obviously the instructions and some of the hardware here. Excuse this mess, but some of the other hardware here. You're going to take your shorter bolts, and your lock nuts. Obviously you're just going to have 4 of them. That's all you really need. And then you're going to take your mounting plate. I'm going to pick, if they line up right, I'm going to pick the 2 outer ones. But we're just going to have to see what we get on the, when I line it up. But yes. Alright. This little socket head here is what you want facing the front. So when you, obviously when you then put it into the mount that's on your boat, that will kind of sit in there, and then you use the screw on the side here to then basically lock it in place. But yes, so we're gonna, actually I'm gonna go double check that what's on my boat. But alright, I double checked my boat, but yes, you, at least for mine, where and how I mounted the mounting plate that's on my boat right now, this socket head screw needs to be mounted towards the front of this. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Alright, so I lined up my holes. It looks like, yeah, this is pretty flush here. I kind of like that. So we got this back hole here, and the almost the second to front hole right here that we'll be fitting our screws through. Alright, I got the trolling motor on the plate right now. I'm just dry fitting it. I haven't put any screws on. I'm just trying to line up my holes and see how I like it. This guy's going to drop down here. Just trying to figure out placement right now. Alright, we're gonna stick with what I had first. If I had this up to the next holes, I think this part when I dropped it was gonna hit. So we're gonna mount it here, and then once I mount it, I'm gonna put it in I'm gonna put it on my boat. Sorry, excuse the dogs, but we're gonna put it on the boat and see how it fits. So we'll get to doing that. Alright, so actually let's hang this over the edge. We're gonna be real careful. We're gonna go quick. So we're gonna get that through. Grab one of the nuts. We're just gonna screw it on for now. So we're gonna do that. Get that one through. The nut on. Alright, now that I have those two on, I'm going to go grab some tools to tighten these guys down, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. So I figured out the lock nut is a 7/16 wrench, but I will most likely be using it for the screw, sorry, the bolt. But then I got the socket head as well. So let's get to it. So we're going to angle this a little bit so I have some more reach in here. Perfect. Nice and tight. Okay, do the same thing for this side. Ooh. Alright, so my socket head is not going to fit. So we're going to go get another wrench. Alright, because of where this connection piece is, my ratchet wouldn't fit in here. So I went and got a box end ratcheting, and this should work just fine. There we go, nice and tight. Alright, now it's time to do the same thing on the other side. Actually, before we do that, we're going to get this cover back on this side while we're here. Might as well. Okay, now we're going to flip it. Alright, we got it flipped over. And grab our other bolts and nuts. Do that. Get it started. Get the other side. Nice and tight. Oh. Nice and tight. Alright, all set with that. Now we're going to get the cover on. we go. And perfect. All right. Now I want to get this guy on my boat. I will show you guys that. And hopefully I'm just going to temp power to it just to make sure I got my connections right. But if not, I will be doing that tomorrow when I get my iPilot head and the rest of my battery and battery stuff on my boat all wired back in. So yeah. Alright guys, we got the trolling motor up here. This is the boat. I can show a boat tour if you guys want to see that, so just let me know. I've got my mount up here already, so we're going to be throwing that guy up there just to see how it looks, so we're going to get right to that. Perfect. All right. Now, here on this side over here, usually you'd put in a screw, but I think I'm going to be taking this guy out, so I'm not going to put that there. But as you can see here, I previously had this for my other trolling motor. This one's not going to work because this has a female end. The one that I bought has a male end, so we're going to cut this off and we're actually going to mount it. Whew. Gotta step over this. Actually, I'm gonna mount that guy right in here, or maybe on this side. I might be mounting it right here or right here, but I still gotta kind of decide on that. So, but this actually looks really good. I like that I went more forward on the mount. Gives it more clearance for this, but I don't know if you guys saw, but I don't have the propeller on that guy yet, so we're gonna get the propeller on that next, so let's go do that. Alright, I think I got this figured out now. Alright, so for this guy, you have this, it should come with this little like pin thing here, and you slide it. You should see two holes for it. You want to slide it in there, and then your prop should be able to fit, yep, nice and snug in there. You should sort of feel it like click into that little pin that you put in. All right, and then you're going to put your washer on, and then your lock nut, and then so you're going to want to tighten. Obviously you need to tighten this down, but this little slit here for a flathead, you're going to want to keep that in and then use a wrench to wrench it down. The screwdriver here is to keep it in place while you wrench it down, so you will see me be doing that. You will see me doing that, sorry. Get it so it's nice and firm. There we go. Now it rotates nice and smooth, and that should be good for that. All right, so to prep for tomorrow, this guy I showed you earlier, we are going to, we need to take this guy off, so these ends here, we're just gonna snip off. That should honestly be a good length. I'm gonna cut the black down just a little bit more. Perfect. So tomorrow when I get the time, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna feed it back into, I have a compartment up front in the boat. I will show you guys tomorrow, but yeah, I'll feed it around there. I'll cut a hole into the wood and then mount the new plug. It'll look really similar to this, but have the it'll have the male ends instead of the female ends. So, but yeah.